All right, so is this going to be your next gaming phone? I don't know, we'll see. So this is the RedMagic 6, and this phone costs $599, and it seems like a really good deal in the world of gaming phones that are like targeted towards gamers. I don't know, I've been playing a lot of Call of Duty lately and a bunch of games on my phone, so I'm kind of excited to try this because this does come with the Snapdragon 888 inside of it, so it has plenty of power with that. It also is going to have 12 gigabytes of RAM, and this also will have a display that has a 165 hertz refresh rate, which is kind of insane. But first, let's see what we get inside of the box with this bad boy. All right, lid off, and we have the phone. And then we do have some documentation. And in this box, we will have a wall adapter, which is nice to have in phones, which are starting to get rid of them. And this is a 30-watt quick charger, but this phone also supports up to 66 watts, but that's gonna be an additional adapter that you need to buy. Now, this is gonna pair well with the 5050 milliamp hour battery inside of this phone. Then I'm assuming this is going to be the USB-C cable. But all right, let's get this phone naked for you. So this is the RedMagic 6, and I think it only comes in one color. And let me get this plastic off. Ooh-wee! Look at that. So it's very glossy, and I'm pretty sure it's gonna collect fingerprints. Actually, it's doing a pretty decent job at not showing up so far, but we'll see with time. And yeah, we have some different graphics here on the back. On the left-hand side, we do find, I think this is the volume button, yep. You also have this toggle, which will allow you to enter into the dedicated GameSpace mode, which gives you all of your customizations for when you are gaming, and I'll show you that once we get inside of this phone. And also snuggled between these two, you will find one of the vents that works with their ICE 6.0 cooling system, which has like 7 different methods that they are doing to keep this phone nice and cool. Because when you're using a device for extended periods of time, as the heat starts to build up and stuff, your phone performance can actually start to slow down because it's trying to not overheat everything. But they also do sell a separate air cooler. I think it's their dual core ice dock that you can buy separately, and this puts fans on the back of the phone. That might be a little too much for me, but that is an option for all of my hardcore gamers out there. And on the bottom, we do have a dual SIM card tray, so no micro SD card expansion. So you're going to be stuck with the 128 gigabytes of storage that you have. You don't have any room to play around with unless you want to buy the more expensive RedMagic 6 Pro, which does come with 256 gigabytes of storage. All right, so I am in. I have the phone set up here, and generally I'm liking this OS. I might be changing the icons a little bit because I don't really like the boxy look. I might make them a little bit more circular, but overall, I have to say that everything flows really smoothly. Performance is there, and that's really thanks to that Snapdragon 888 that's inside of this phone. Oh, but you know, one of my favorite things are the animated wallpapers that you have to choose from here, so you can see how they really fit the theme of a gaming phone. So I really like how they kind of just pop up on the screen there. And this does have a fingerprint scanner underneath the display, and you can see it is pretty fast, so I'm liking the responsiveness. But when I was setting up this phone, the initial setup, it had a screen there for me to set up my fingerprint, but it was telling me that the scanner was on the back of the phone. So it's definitely thinking it was another model of a phone that this company makes. But don't worry, when you do get the phone set up, you can go into the settings, and then now you can add a fingerprint like normal. But this is just one of a few things that I noticed with the software. Like sometimes they have words that are misspelled, or the buttons that might have some text in them might be cut off a little bit by the bottom of the screen. So it's little things like that that need to be fine-tuned with future software updates. But generally, again, everything else with the software I'm liking. But this is a gaming phone, so let's talk about these dedicated gaming features that separate it from your normal typical phone. So first is going to be this button right here that activates the GameSpace, and just listen to this. Boom. All right, so I like that little intro. But anyway, here you can find all of your games that you have installed, so you can swipe through them like that. But anyway, you have some more settings here to control some things with this phone, including the turbo fan. So this is going to help keep your phone nice and cool, and you can hear these fans. Take a listen. All right, so let me just turn those off for now. So look, when you have the fans on and your phone isn't emitting any sound when you're not in a game or watching a video, you will be able to hear those fans. But luckily, the speakers are pretty good on this phone, so when I am in a game, I don't really hear the fans, or at least I don't pay attention to them. But you can turn the fans on and off whether you're gaming or not, and you can adjust them in the settings a little bit. So yeah, you just go into the cooling fan section here, you turn it on, and you can either choose between the intelligent mode, which will ramp up the fans when it needs to, and then turn them down when when it doesn't need to. And then also you have the fast cooling, which will just kind of like put everything into overdrive with your fans, and you really will be able to hear it. And then also you do have a section here where you can automatically start the fans when you do enter in the GameSpace mode, because typically you might be ready to start gaming. But back to the GameSpace, so you do have a button here to turn on and off the RGB LED lights that are on the back of this phone, which makes this phone kind of cool and unique, but when you are gaming, you're not gonna be able to see them, so it's kind of pointless for that. But you can kind of map the RGB LED lights to when you are getting different notifications in or phone calls, and you can have them be certain colors. And just by looking at the lights, you can see what type of notification is coming in on your phone. And also when you're in GameSpace, you have this option for this app overlay screen. So when you swipe over from the right-hand side, you can activate this no matter what game you're playing. And then now this gives you certain settings to control the brightness, to open up a messaging app. Also, you can activate macros for a game if you wanted to. And also one of my favorite things is this small window support here. So once you hit this button, it will minimize the app or the game that you're in onto the home screen. And now you can swipe and go into a browser or go text or something. So this is cool because like in Call of Duty, when you're in the Battle Royale, in the beginning, you have like 2 minutes where you're not doing anything really. So I can minimize this and still keep an eye on the game. But once the game starts to load up, I can quickly just tap back into it and get back into it. And we're just getting started here with the things that you can do in this app overlay section. So you do have aim assist. So when you are playing a first person shooter, it can have a permanent reticle centered on your screen, and you can change the color, the size of that, and also the type of reticle that shows up. You also do have a setting here for quickly getting to your controller settings. So if you are using something like an Xbox controller, you can quickly get to that. And then also you do have an option for hunting mode, which will allow you to easily see certain things. And this could be technically cheating in some people's eyes, but you have the option there. And then more stuff as far as like screen recordings and screenshots. And you can also have your frame rate be displayed. So if you are like using this on Twitch or something, people can see the frames per second that you're getting. And no, we're not done just yet. So we do have this game enhancement mode, which will allow you to quickly adjust the performance output of the phone. So I normally keep it in auto mode, but you can go into super performance, and this will let you know that the heat and stuff will increase, but you got those built-in fans, so it's not gonna be too bad, but you can see the graphics there letting you know. So all of this stuff is really nice and cool. And also too, you can have different color presets here. So you can have one if you're playing like a car game or a shooting game, or if you're just trying to like bring up the detail in the shadows, maybe you're playing a game that has a lot of darkness in it. You can have these different settings that you can adjust quickly on the fly. But easily the best gaming enhancements for this phone are going to be the shoulder triggers at the top. So you can adjust these by going into that app overlay, hitting shoulder triggers, and then now you'll see a little icon here for right and left. Now you just need to simply drag these over the on-screen controls for the game that you're playing. So if I want to map the right shoulder trigger to fire my weapon, I just drag it over that. And then for my left shoulder trigger, if I want that to be my reload button, just drag it over to that reload spot. And then now you're set to go. So I can exit out of this. And then now I can simply use the shoulder triggers to shoot. And then I can reload with my left one, right? Right shoulder trigger, shoot, left reload. So this is so cool and so convenient. So a lot of times people like to get those external controllers, which I don't mind at all, but having these type of controls built into a phone are really like a game changer, man. So these definitely can make your experience a lot better and faster. And once you get used to them, I find a game like Call of Duty, I can start owning people a little bit easier. But these triggers also have some extra functions to them as well. So you can have them activate 2 of the on-screen buttons at the same time. So once I turn on this dual operation mode, I have it set in Call of Duty to not only shoot, but also jump at the same time. And that can make me harder to hit. And then also you can have it set to when you press the button, it will do one particular action. And then when you release that button, it will do another action. And a quick example of this is that I have it set to when I press down on the trigger, I will crouch. And then when I release it, I will stand back up. And so you can set this for anything, but here's how it works. And then the last option is to trigger a macro setup that you have. I don't typically do those, but you can if you want. And the shoulder triggers do have some haptic feedback. So when you do press down on them, it will give you some vibration, and you can turn that on and off in the app overlay section. But right now, I'm just gonna shut up and allow you to see some compilation footage of me playing different types of games on this phone, using the shoulder triggers, not using them. And yeah, here we go. All right, so you're seeing me right now about 2 weeks later after I filmed the first part of this video because I wanted to spend some time with this phone. And I have to say, for the price, this is a great budget gaming specific phone. Now, I say gaming because look, if you're trying to buy this for the cameras, as you can see from these examples, you're not gonna walk away too impressed. I mean, they're very good, they're basic, they're good. You can also take like 8K video with this, but there are other phones around this price range that can blow these cameras out of the water. But what you're buying this phone for is that fast 165 hertz refresh rate display, which looks really good, and you're buying it for those different software tweaks that make your gaming experience better. But I will say that I do wish that they made the back more of a matte or textured finish because it's a little bit slippery, a little bit glossy right now, and so when you're using the shoulder triggers and you're losing 2 fingers that you normally use to hold the back of the phone, so it makes it a little bit kind of more prone to slip out a little bit. But you know, honestly, I think with any phone, no matter if it's gaming or not, I think the best way to game is using something like the Razer Kishi, which is a little game pad that you can attach to a phone. Oh, and I forgot to mention that this phone does have a headphone jack at the top, but I have been using the RedMagic CyberPods, and these built-in earbuds do have some really cool lights on them, and also the case has some lighting as well. And these are low latency, so these were great as far as keeping the audio with my games synced up really well. But look, just rounding up everything, really good gaming budget phone. I'm going to be covering some other gaming phones, but they cost around $1,000 or so, so definitely they're separate from this one in that regard. But if you like the game at this price, yeah, take a look at it. So anyway, I'm wrapping up this video. Leave a comment down below and let me know what you think about this phone. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content like this. But like always, I do want to thank you for watching this video, and I will catch you later. Peace.